My bad, bro. I'm liking cells too. I am liking cells. 15 didn't give me a setup though. 30 is the only thing setting up here. Let's see if we can get a 5-minute closure. Where was the market open? This was the market open. We have a 15-minute that just closed. We already broke below both previous day VWAP and today's VWAP. I missed that entry at resistance. How many pips? 80 pips today. I shorted here. I shorted here. Was a little bit in profit. Drawdown, 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 drawdown during Jerome. And then dump afterwards. $37 pips is good, bro. I lowered my lot size and I'm holding my trades for a little bit longer, so I'm catching more pips. I'm gonna wait for this hourly closure in 10 minutes. What up, hero? How are you, brother? Working and trading, I feel you. So what I've been doing is cutting back on how many trades I take. And because sometimes my life has been interfering, I've been just looking at the charts. I don't see nothing on this 15-30 minute candle. I set a timer for the next 15-minute closure and I go about my business. When my alarm rings that the next 15-minute candle closes, I then reassess the analysis and see if it makes any sense. If nothing's happened within this 15-minute candle, if it doesn't look like it'll form in this 15-minute, I'll set another 15-minute timer and move on to the next job. Every hourly closure, every 30-minute closure, I'm looking out to see what's possible. I can't take a trade here, I gotta wait. No, I'm not trading from different from Wix and Dawn. It's the same. The only difference is that I hold longer than they do. Yeah, when Wix switched over to New York, that he left the Asian session open, it left the void, and I said, "Fuck it." I've been trying to do YouTube for the longest time, and this kind of fell right into my hands. It was pretty fucking dope. Wix was like, "Javi, Eddie, you guys wanna get on this shit?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, bro." I let someone else take a ride for a little while, and then they eventually said, "Nah, I don't like this shit." And then I said, "All right, bro, I'll take it." I didn't want to be the first one to be like, "Yeah, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it." So I was like, "All right, who wants to do it for real? Let's give everybody an opportunity." I was a little shy at first, but then it's been about a year now. It's crazy how time just fucking flies. Unfortunately, I'm from Europe, bro, so it's probably late as hell for you right now. What time is it in Europe? I forgot Europe has different time zones just like the US. What part of Europe? Germany. A 2 a.m. My brother in Christ, thank you for showing up, but go to sleep, bro. Turn the brightness down on your phone, play a YouTube video, and go to sleep, dog. At 2 in the morning, I'm either checking on a trade that I have running overnight, or I'm sleeping. Nah, yeah, sometimes I do pop in on people's streams. I wake up in the morning at 2 in the morning, and I'm just like, eh, let me see who's streaming right now. Yeah, I wake up at 6 every day. That's why I end stream at 10. So that way I have 8 hours. An 8 hour window to wind down, eat a little snack, and go to bed. And I usually sleep like 6.5, 7 hours. Sometimes like 6. I'm usually Gucci with 6. Oh, dude, I can't nap for shit. If I nap, the rest of the day I'm useless. But yeah, Julio, bro, work. It will screw with your trades. So here's what I did. After 1,000 trades that I had uploaded to TradeZilla, I started looking at the report and seeing my average drawdown. And then I would close my eyes, pick a random day, pick a random winner, and see how long it ran. Pick a random day, pick a random winner, see how long it ran. Random day, random winner, see how long it ran. And I started getting the randomized average of how long on average were my winners running. And I was like, damn. A lot of the time, it's running for over 100 pips. At least 70% of the time, it's running to 30 to 50 pips. 30 to 50 pips, anywhere in that range. And then a good 30% of the time, it's hitting 100 plus. So if the majority of my trades, every single winner, almost 100% has driven more than 30 pips, all right, I'm not going to close for 10 anymore. I'm going to set a TP at 20. Once I started seeing my TPs at 20s getting smacked, getting smacked, getting smacked, getting smacked, getting smacked, getting smacked, I said, all right, I'm going to go from zone to zone and then just see how it's moving from zone to zone. If we're moving with momentum to the next zone, I'm going to hold for a little bit longer. If it's moving very choppily and ugly to the next zone, I'll close for 10, 20 pips. But depending on the structure on the way to the next zone, but knowing that there was a high probability that my trades were going to run, I just decided to hold. And if I go into drawdown after being up 10, 20 pips, and I go into drawdown, cool, I'll pineapple out. I'll figure out a way to pineapple out. You see what I'm saying? But to me, when I'm that right to not capitalize on that move gives me FOMO. And understanding, damn, 99% of the time I'm correct on my TP. So why am I not holding to my full TP? And that's the only difference between mine and Wick's strategy and Don's strategy is that with their experience, they have a higher win rate than I do. I don't know. I don't know why they close earlier. That's the only thing I have no idea. What up, spaceman? Big man Sam. I'm gonna have a sell stop here on the rebreak of this hourly low. Have you ever added a position in winning? No, but if I go into drawdown and I see my setup again, I'll double down on the setup and I'll hold both entries in profit. So it is kind of like adding in profit instead of holding the pineapple to get out, one entry minus 20 pips, the other entry plus 10. So that way it's like a total of 10 pips profit. I'll hold till both entries in profit. I'll hold till my first entry, at least to my first entry at break even, and my second entry fully all the way in profit. I'm in. One minute. I was gone for that. My dog was making some fucking noise and I was sketched out all the way until I was taking the all the way until I was freaking out for like 10 minutes thinking what the fuck was that noise, and as soon as I got into the trade I couldn't take it anymore and I was like I gotta go check out what it is. I might close this break even. Let me see, we closed below on the 15, we closed below on the hourly. Really just a 4-hour trade. Alright, we're just gonna go break even here. At 10 pips. If it drives back down, it drives back down. That's plenty of opportunity. Could have closed at 37 pips. Maybe I would have closed it if I would have saw it. But I dipped for a couple minutes. Yeah, it's probably going to reverse now and start to come up. What a trade. So we just grab liquidity here. This is nice. What in the fuck was that? Good thing we closed break even and managed risk there. That's an instant 50 pip pullback. I mean, you don't have any levels that we tapped here. Even on the 30-second, there's just no levels created to tap there to bounce off of to take any buys. But we just closed back above the VWAP on the 1 minute. I need a fucking 40-inch monitor, dude. This is annoying me. Well, instant 37 pips. Whoever was in there, you snapped for closing at 37 pips. I went break even. I didn't catch anything. But as you can see, going break even there, yeah, I could have closed. So let's say this trade would have been a runner, right? And then instead of it pulling back for 50 pips, it would have dumped to 100 pips. I would have closed at 37 and then saw a full 100 pips. And I would have been tight, understanding my setups. So because I went break even there and now he's driving back the other way, I'm perfectly happy with closing break even there, not taking anything. My idea wasn't to scalp that for 37 pips. My idea was to scalp that for the push down to here, which is 100 pips. So if I would have saw 37, possibly that initial, that would have been break even. Maybe I would have closed a partial at 40. But depending on what setup you're taking, I was thinking the 4-hour money printer would give us a little bit more range, and it did. It gave us plenty, right? The 4-hour money printer gave us 80 pips, 70 pips. I was just in on the last 40 pips of that 70. I would have thought we would have came down to some of these levels here on the 4-hour money printer here. So because it was a 4-hour money printer, and then I took the 15-minute closure below the range and the flip bearish on the next 15-minute candle, it was a 4-hour with a 15-minute entry. So I was gonna hold for quite a bit there. I was gonna set a timer for at least 5 minutes and try to hold. Like today, bro, I was in this trade since here, and I caught this push here for 100 pips. It was like 80 pips with 5 contracts. I was watching this and listening to Jerome speak the entire time. And when I saw we never rebroke the daily high, we tried and failed, and we came back down and dumped here, I set my TP, I set my stop loss, I locked my phone, and I went to fucking work. 15, 20 minutes later, I decided to check, and we were on this wick down right here. And then I closed right here at this wick. And then the next 20 minutes later, it hit full TP. But I closed right here at this wick for 80 pips. I was like, if I didn't take the sell here, I would have taken a sell here anyways. If I didn't take the sell here, I would have taken a sell in the rebreak of the low here for the continuation down. So there's 1, 2, 3 scalps I would have taken. I'd rather just hold my position all the way through. Instead of risking 1% 3 different times, I risked 1% one time and I held it for almost 1%. Like Don posted a trade where he caught 10 pips and this moved down. And I'm like, bro, for me, if I'm catching 10 pips within a 150 pip push, let me hold at least for 20 or 30. Not an arbitrary number, just go off 1 minute levels in the past, at least for me. Let's see what happens here, man. We start to form some support here around VWAP. I'll take some buys going up. Oh, we gotta see. This is the entire Asian range. Wait for this 15 closure. I only streamed a couple days last weekend, though. The day that I streamed, I took an L. I lost 1% last week on stream, and then I lost another 1% the previous week on stream. But then I don't know how much I made on the other 2 days. I know we've made back a quarter of the last trades lost, and if anybody closed on these 40 pips, that would have been another eighth. So it would have been point. It would have been 3 points, 0.375 or 37.5% back of the loss. This is my VWAP here. We can get a retest of the VWAP. I'll have a buy stop on the break of the high. Is there a rank system now? What are those crown deals? Oh shoot. Wait. Everything is new to me. I don't know what the fuck. Wait, I don't get what you're talking about. What haven't you seen before in the chat? This chat looks regular to me. This is what the chat looks like to me. I did try to add badges though. This is beautiful. Alright, I'm gonna have a buy stop here. I'm gonna risk a little more in this one. Oh, nice. Yeah, YouTube be doing YouTube. Yeah, YouTube asked me if I wanted to do that, and I said yeah. Hey yo, who watched the UFC this weekend and saw Ilya Topuria just off to the Shadow Realm? pullback. Ilya is a beast. What are we about to do here? What's up, Nadim? Doji, 4 hour, money printer both ways. Doji at the moment. I'm gonna delete this and I'm gonna wait. We would have to fully respect here and then flip bullish. How is this 30 gonna close? We have liquidity. Mm-hmm. What are we gonna do here? Mondays are slow, huh? Today we got almost 30 people, and on Monday we had like 8. I got a new drone. I got a DJI Mini. I'm about to have a second camera aerial view of me trading from the back with the drone flying in the background. Just wait for the cinematography coming soon. I was just kidding, by the way. But I did cop a drone. I've been taking some pretty cool videos learning how to. I know how to fly it already. I'm like I would say like a 7 out of 10 drone pilot. I live in next to an airport, so I'm a little fucked with how high I can fly it. I gotta go to like my dad's house, and then I can send it like 500-600 feet in the sky. So our 30-minute closed doji. It closed below VWAP here. We don't have a top wick. Are we gonna come down and fill this range without that top wick? Can we get a top wick so that I can take the rebreak of the low? Okay, sell stop. Oh no, not market sell. Fucking piece of shit. Hmm. I'm gonna delete this sell stop. Let's wait here. Deleting that, deleting that. It's 30 close below. This one remained below. The flip bullish. I'm not liking too much, but it is pretty valid the way this 1 minute closed. This is the whole support right here. And we just rejected hard off of it. I'm gonna keep my sell stop here. Have a good day, Farzan. Take it easy, bro. Ooh, that literally wicked me in. I'll manage risk somewhere here to see what happens. I think my cousin's here. Let me go open the door real quick. No way, they should just dump 40 pips in front of me while I was gone again. Oh, no. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Holy shit, this is ugly. Not price action, but this fucking Dutch. What do you guys think of the G kid? Alex G mentoring that one kid? Do you think he's a terrible trader? This is what I think. I think he was a trader and then stopped and continued marketing the little bit of profitability that he had. And then when people were catching on, he decided to get back on the live markets this year. And that's where you saw 6 months of losing millions until he made it all back within a couple of trades, doubling his risk. So like he got the hang of it again and then made it back, or I was all fake, or he did do good for a little bit, marketed it like a savage, stopped trading, and then when he got back on the markets, he was like, "Oh fuck, it's not the same. We are not in Kansas anymore." We just closed below on the 15, closed below both the daily VWAPs. We should see at least 50 pips here, dude. We should fill this wick completely. His strategy never made him millions. His business and boot camp did. Well, yeah. So this is the thing, right? In order for you to become a multimillionaire day trading, it's next to impossible. Not next to impossible, but it takes decades. Because Wix has been trading for 5 years and made $1.5 million trading. 5 years, $1.5 million. Don, same thing. Half a decade to make a million, right? But that's because you need capital. It's about more capital so your percentages are higher. If let's say you make 100K a year trading and you've been doing that for 5 years, if you start selling a course, you're gonna start making 100K a month selling your course. It's not to say your course is trash and your info is trash because you're making 100K a year. You've been living off your trading for half a decade. But you're gonna make much more if you market yourself correctly, just because you have a skill that people want. You have something that people want, and that people, it's like gold, bro. Being a profitable trader is like having gold in your hands, and everybody was like, how do I get that? How do I get that? How do I get that? The majority of traders never became a millionaire from trading. They became millionaires from something else before trading. Wix9 had an interview where he sold a company for $2 million. Him and his brother's company, pharmaceutical company. They owned a pharmacy. So my boy made money before he even touched Forex money. Don was making money before he touched Forex money as well. Don was flipping shoes and doing that hype beast shit. That stuff is very profitable. Probably not a millionaire, but making money. Like, I'll give you a good example. I know a dude who started a Discord. He's got 1,300 members. 130 are paid. And I think he charges like $40 or something like that. Last year he made like 30 or 40,000 trading, and in his Discord he makes 5,000 a month. So he's gonna make more in the Discord than trading this year. But he still made 30,000. It's a lot of fucking money trading. The majority, 99.99999%, don't ever make it. So that's what I think happened to him, because you listen to him talking to him trading and it makes sense. It's not gibberish like these other guys. Like a lot of these other guys will start to talk, bro, and you're like, I can tell you're a dumbass. I can tell you just Googled before coming onto the YouTube. Look at this pullback. Top wick for the 15 before the flip down? Question mark. I don't like this rejection right off the fucking this level here. Definitely makes a lot and keeps it zoom, but his strategy has too many flaws. I've seen him lose more than one. Yeah, that's the thing, right? That I kept up with all of the whole thing, right? And I was keeping up, and he was like down like 6% or down like 2 or 3%, and then he would make 5% in a trade and be up 2. And then he got wicked out like 7 times. And then he adjusted his stops and started winning again. And it was things like that that made me see, oh, he did have a strategy and he was trying to implement his old strategy and it just stopped working because the markets are much, much different now and he had to adjust, aka the getting wicked out and losing and losing and losing, and then eventually making it back in one trade. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's just entertainment. Because that kid's about to get $100,000. Because you know Alex isn't gonna fail, and he promised that kid 100,000 on live. So that kid is going to get 100,000 from working at Pollo Tropical, having one pair of shoes, to being mentored by at least a professional marketer. At least a professional marketer for the last 30 days and to make 100,000. Worst case, homie puts a down payment down for a new house and he lives with cheap ass rent for the rest of his life and changes his life just off that one investment. Worst case. I'm mostly following it for the kid, bro. The kid shaved his head, dog. Each boot camp makes him 1 or 2 million in sales. My brother in Christ, if I made 1 or 2 million in sales in boot camps, I would also hold boot camps every single fucking day. That's the thing, bro. That's wild. Like, think about it. If you made $100,000 if you made $1 million trading, you're gonna tell me you still wouldn't hold a boot camp to make another couple of million every couple months? That's why these guys do this, bro. Because they have a skill that people want, and they know that people would pay for it. And not only can you make money, but imagine if you change someone's life and you make them a profitable trader and they change their lives and then they start changing other people, bro, it's like a cycle, dude. You see somebody driving a Lamborghini and you're like, damn, how did he do it? You would wish that guy with the Lamborghini was like, hey, yeah, bro, I stream every day on YouTube and I'm doing it for free so you can watch how I do it. Just slide through, drop a like, and that's it. That's why I showed up to Don stream and to Wick stream every day. I'm like, what the? fuck? Streaming? No way. You're capping. There's got to be pre-recorded. Or he never takes a trade and he just scams you for the next 3 hours watching, thinking a trade's gonna happen. But then I saw Don flip 100K to a milli. And I was hooked. I was hooked. I believed it 100%. I said, there's no way this is fake. I saw every fucking trade. He made me a mod. I'm in the signal channel now. I can see every single trade. If the balance is off tomorrow, I can calculate how many pips he made on the last trade, and I can literally see if he faked it or not. Yeah, but like the 100K to 1 million, he probably, I don't know, made flipped the hundred to a few thousand, and then the few thousand to 20, 30,000, then blew the 20, 30,000, and then just deposited another 20, 30,000, and then tried again with 20, 30. So with a 60% win rate, the probability of you going on a 7 win streak is almost impossible. So he wouldn't, with his strategy, he would never be able to flip 100 to a million realistically without a couple of cheat codes in the way. A couple of redeposits. Yeah. 28K, dude, that's insane. He's like, watch this. We have 20 seconds here until the 9 o'clock closure. What kind of volume are we gonna get here? Looks like we're closing bullish on this 30, and it's closing doji. This hourly's closing doji. 30's still closing bearish below. Let's see what we can do here. 3 seconds. Whoa, it just froze. It looks like we might need more liquidity before coming down. It failed a lot of times, and this 9 o'clock open failed to. Let's see what it does if it just keeps driving up here. I'm gonna take a pineapple here, and I'm gonna move my stop loss to these highs here. Because if the daily high re-breaks at this 9 o'clock open, this shit's probably gonna fly. That'll be my last trade for the night. If this area here isn't a rejection point for the hourly to flip bearish, our entry is right now at the hourly flip. Let me bring it a little bit higher here. But yeah, if we re-break the daily high and this thing starts to keep going, then yeah, that's pretty much it. I do think that we're gonna fill the range all the way up. So there's no sense in holding that high. Yeah, this is likely gonna continue to fly. Unless it decides to range and this is the extent of the move, that we can come back down into profit, but we gave a fake out, we drove up, we closed above the range, and then we came back, respected this, tried to break out and failed. And the 9 o'clock open is giving us a top wick now, but where is the top wick going to be before the flip? This hourly closed below, we closed doji, so we could be getting the celery plate to the downside here. We have a lot of rejection areas here. I don't think we should break into these highs before coming down, but it's very, very possible it comes all the way up here, which would be 150 pips away. This thing just plummeted. This is the hourly flip. The hourly flip should cause the continuation of the dump. If not, it'll come back up and hit stop loss. This is the hourly flip for the hourly celery, the continuation of the 4 hour. This is the move. It It just needs to fucking pop. I got a new light. That shit was like 12 bucks at Walmart. Damn, thumbs down. Oh, what the fuck was that? You put a thumbs down on stream. That's funny as hell. Drawdown Central. You can do whatever you want. I'm holding here. And I'm closing full there. And honestly, that's it for me. That was a combined 50 pips. A combination 50 pipation. I'm actually going to call it there. That was beautiful. I'm kind of wanting to take more trades, and I'm kind of gonna one and done it there. That was 50 pips for the session. That was beautiful. And look at that dump. This is gonna continue dumping down. This is gonna continue dumping. If any of you guys want to continue holding, my full TP would have been right there for the full. It was like 100 pips or some shit. What is that? It would have been a combined 100 pips, yeah. There she is. Yeah. But the hourly flip, 15 money printer off VWAP, you usually get at least a 50 pip push there. At least a 50 pip push there. And the daily low is there. So if you get that 50 pip push to the daily low and it breaks, this thing is likely going to be like a 150 pip dump if it continues dumping. But I gotta call it. That was a lot of drawdown. That was one break even, in profit 2 times. You see why I kept holding there? Structure kept telling me to just continue holding. When the way the hourly closed, where we still had the possible celery, and then the 15-minute previous 15-minute close like this, and then the on the flip aligned with the 15-minute money printer, I was like, all right, that's the move. That's the move. In my head, I was like, that is the move. That's your A plus setup. Now, what caused me to close there was one, because I had a pineapple, so I had a lot of risk on the table, and two, we're money printing and doing this off of this level here where we tried a couple times and we failed, and then we were in drawdown for a long time. So I'm like, damn, what's the probability of this being enough liquidity for the drive down, or just for a nice scalp to the downside? So that's where I was contemplating in my head if this would have been enough liquidity to continue dumping. So I just decided to close there. But you're now forming structure within this wick down that we were in earlier. So yeah, this could easily continue dumping. But have a wonderful day, everybody. With this, it's back. It's about almost half of the loss back. Look at that pullback. What a closure. See ya. Ah, shit, I wasn't reading chat. My bad, brother. I appreciate you for showing up, dog. I appreciate you. I'm gonna figure out a way to be able to do some giveaways, so when I get to 10K, I can give away some accounts. Take it easy, gang. Peace.